Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. We welcome everyone back, and at the onset we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to bless us in our days and help us secure for ourselves and for the world around us the ability to take this challenge in stride and to make all of our actions righteous and make them sincerely for His sake and not allow any of His creation a share of our intentions. Allahumma ameen. Tonight's reminder will be regarding the verse of Allah Azza wa Jal in Surah Al-An'am. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the previous nations, فَلَوْلَا إِذْ جَاءَهُمْ بَأْسُنَا تَضَرَّعُوا وَلَكِنْ قَسَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَزَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Why is it that when our punishment came to them, they did not exhibit their brokenness, but instead their hearts became hard and shaitan beautified for them their behavior, what they used to do? A person's mind probably jumps right now to, am I saying that Corona is a punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not? It actually really depends, because at the end of the day, ultimately, whatever brings you closer to Allah is a blessing. And whatever distances you from Allah is an evil thing. And so it depends on who you are and how you're reacting. This could be a priceless gift from Allah Azza wa Jal if we are of the lucky group, the fortunate group, the blessed group, the guided group that takes heed from a reminder of this magnitude. Because if one will not heed a reminder of this size, then what reminder will ever turn the lights on for them? You see, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sends many reminders to His creation. But sometimes reminders, no matter how powerful, no matter how profound, it could even be Allah Himself reminding, meaning in His Quran, somehow with many of us it still falls on deaf ears. So out of His mercy subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sends an even more invasive reminder sometimes, a reminder that's even more difficult for us to ignore, the one that will not fall on deaf ears, inshallah ta'ala. And if this one doesn't serve as a wake-up call, what would? This is the meaning of that ayah. Why is it that even when our punishment came to them, they did not take heed, they did not exhibit their brokenness, they were not humbled and submissive before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So it's from His mercy, ultimately, for a certain group, those that respond the right way, it's from His mercy that He blemishes their world. He discomforts them in this world, almost as if He's cracking the whip of tribulations, as Ibn al-Qayyim says, to help them recalibrate on their course, to help reset their compass, to help them get back on track towards their true destination, so that they recognize His greatness anew, so that you recognize the insignificance and the worthlessness because of the unpredictability and the short-termness of this world. He cracks the whip of tribulations to get you back on track and back going in that right direction. And so if a person will not through this, then when? This is the meaning of that ayah. So it is incumbent, it's a must upon all of us to respond appropriately as a believer should, by upping their charities, upping their recitation of the Quran, upping their ibadah, their servitude of Allah in the broadest sense of that term, upping their dua, because dua is the heart of ibadah, is the heart of servitude, and it is the clearest way to admit to Allah, to show to Allah, to confess to Allah that you recognize your brokenness in front of Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibrahim ibn Adham rahimahullah was once on a ship, and the storms almost toppled the ship over, and everyone is screaming and crying, certain that they would die. And they asked him to make dua for them, recognizing his righteousness. And they said, please make dua. And he said beautiful words that the likes of them we should learn to make, even if we haven't read them anywhere. Just speak freely, genuinely, even if you're not eloquent, even if you don't know Arabic. Learn to speak to Allah and say to Him, I recognize who you are. I am grateful for this reminder. So he used to say, back to his words, O you who was alive when no one was alive, and O you who was alive when everyone else will die, O you who is forever alive, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, O you who is ever sustaining everything, أريتنا قدرتك فأرنا عفوك. O Allah, you've shown us your power, now show us your pardon, show us your forgiveness. And this reminds me actually the context of being at sea. Muwarraq al-Ajli, rahimahullah, he used to say there is no better example for the believer in this world than the example of a man holding on to a log in the middle of the ocean saying, Ya Rabb, my Lord, in hopes that Allah would rescue him. So the believer recognizes this, that he is that vulnerable, that she is that powerless at every given moment. But if we're not going to reinstate that realization and take heed to that wake-up call with something as massive as Corona that put the whole world on freeze overnight, then when will we ever stop pressing the snooze button, stop ignoring the reminders if even this one will not work? I'll leave it there. May Allah Azza wa Jal help us and you become people who converse with Him and are humbled in front of Him and serve Him in a way that exhibits how broken and how desperate for His support and His pleasure we inherently are as human beings. Jazakallahu khairan everybody. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Have a great evening.